All right. Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully, you can hear me in chat okay. Nice to see you all. It has been a few days. It's been a few days since I was last on, be Friday of last week. Um, Hopefully, you've all had a great Memorial Day weekend. As you know, I generally don't stream in any way on holiday weekends because I do like to preserve that for family. But it's nice to see you all. Hope you are doing well. See a lot of familiar faces in chat. Appreciate you coming to hang out for this stream today. It's going to be a little bit on the shorter side, but I'll be back tonight. Tonight, we're going to do one of two things. We're either going to expand this discussion into tonight, which will probably happen, but then we also may do some Star Citizen gameplay, which I haven't done in a while. I've been enjoying the Anvil Asgard a lot more than I thought I would, so we might go over that. But everyone, chat, nice to see you all. I won't go through the names, but I see a lot of great folks in here hanging out, so appreciate that. Real quick, everybody, want to go through some top of show announcements like we normally do. No surprise there. We're going to start off with this one here, the big one. Quantum Vegas 2955, taking place Saturday, July 12th, 2025. Buy your tickets, folks, if you can go. Buy your tickets. I would love to see you all there. I will be there. I'll be doing a panel on an Anvil capital ship. Should be very interesting. But there's going to be a lot of great prizes, raffles, contests, and stuff at the event. A lot of ships to win. They're going to have some CIG folks there. Sean Tracy, one of the OGs of Star Citizen and Squadron 42, will be there, as well as Galactica, Xylo. Could be some other CIG related surprises. I'm not sure. Absolutely, who's who of people going to be there? I'll go to the page here. Got the Poets, great tech content creator. Nate and Kim Ellis from EE Studios are going to be on an episode of Starjump Station in June. Serious Fun and Griffin Gaming acting as moderators, also put a ton of work into organizing the events. Commander Fran, well known from the Beacon events over in Europe. Nick at Night, I think he's going to be doing some show organizing. Paul Shelley, the Astro Historian, will be there, and then yours truly, Starjump Grim. So, yeah, like someone said just in chat, Fastcart, they are going to go up in price, so get your tickets while you can. If I go to the tickets section here, you will see that right now until May 31st, tickets are $99. You can get some fantastic deals. You can get some fantastic deals for Las Vegas flights, Las Vegas hotels, all that good stuff. I will be flying out on Friday, flying home Sunday morning, so I got plenty of time to hang out with people there. I'm going to try to go to the Bar Citizen that Friday night. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely try to get your tickets if you can. Now, I'm going to put the link in chat here. Make sure you go to the website if you can. I would just love to see people there, love to hang out, meet some people in person. I am going to have some Starjump swag of some sort. I don't know what all I can take, but we'll see. I do want to get some stuff there. Green Shield says, Starjump, glad to catch a stream. Are you surprised at how well the Asgard has been received? I'm in love with it. I absolutely love the Asgard. I really do. I didn't think much of it, but I've really turned out to enjoy it because it's just a great all-rounder and it flies really well. It's really spry. If anything, I think they could nerf it a bit. They could nerf it a bit. 1 second. But yeah, they could nerf it. Hold on 1 second, everybody. Just bringing up some windows. Hey Gear, hope you're well. Let's see here, who else we got? Fast Cart, nice to see you. Tech Zero says got his ticket already. That's great. Can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to meet you. So, yeah, Quantum. It's going to be an awesome event. I really hope to see you all there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be, I think, building an Anvil Capital ship on stage, which is going to be pretty nerve-wracking. And I think what I want to do is I want to get I want to get some sort of system in place where people from the audience, it may just be how loud they can cheer, but I want to get some people in the audience to be able to sort of like choose your own adventure style, how the Anvil Capital is going to come together. So I actually really need to get on that soon. Said Quantum's coming up very, very quickly. What's going to go on for the event? All kinds of stuff. They're having a machinima contest, lots of panels. Again, if I go back to the program, they have all the panels listed here on the website. So you can see my session is from 1:30 to 2:10, Starjump Shipyard session, but there's community activities, trivia. There's a whole trivia thing. They'll be hosted by Galactica. There'll be a duty to community panel, which will be moderated by Paul Shelley and will be sort of interviewing Tyler Whitcomb. Again, it's going to be a lot of great stuff. There's going to be a tech and tools session, which Sean Tracy from CIG will be overseeing. So that'll be a good one. Maybe we'll get some little, little bits of info like some of the other events have had lately. That'd be pretty cool. We'll have to see. But otherwise, it's going to be a lot of really cool stuff going on. There's a community meet and greet, all kinds of cool stuff. And the event space is really cool. The event space is really cool. So again, yeah, hope to see you all there. All right, next thing I want to go over is St. Jude Play Live for 2025 for Starjump. As you all know, we've been doing fundraising for St. Jude Children's Hospital over the course of April and May. It's been incredibly fruitful. A lot of money has been raised from all of you in chat, all of you donators. So big, giant salute to you. It does look like we've made it across the $20,000 raised mark for this year. So that's great to see. 36,440 lifetime raised. So great job, everyone in chat. Hope you are proud. I am definitely proud of you. And it couldn't have been done without you. Of course, I should switch back over here and do a thank you to our donators. Big shout out to GearCon, who's in chat, for donating ships, as well as Bingo Winchester, Lazy Donuts, all three of them donating ships of some type to the event, so or to the initiative. So that's really gone a long way in helping us generate money. So big thank you to you. 1 second, everybody. So anyways, thank you very much. Also want to send a shout out to James from Icon City again, donating a stream deck. So really appreciate it. Again, gone a long way, everybody. It's been a great event, a great charity run here. I think next time we'll probably make some changes and stuff, adjust a few things to alter our approach. But again, it's been incredibly successful, and that's again due in large part to all of you, the efforts you've made, the generosity you've shown, all that kind of good stuff. So just to give everyone a bit of a heads up, I have a stream scheduled tonight, Wednesday night, or tonight, Wednesday or Thursday night. I have to look at the calendar, and then Friday night. So Friday night is the 30th. That will be the Starjump Grim finale, St. Jude, wrapping it all up show. We are going to do the Polaris raffle on that day. We're going to be also raffling 1 to 2 possible runner-up ships as well, Anvil Asgard and Guardian MX. Don't quote me on those yet, but quite possibly that is happening. Once but anyway, it's going to be a good show. We may do some fun stuff on it. I'm still trying to plan a little bit for it, but it's essentially going to sort of wrap up the entire St. Jude initiative. Okay, Livid Lion, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Salute to you. Thank you for that. So yeah, it's if you do want to donate today, though, obviously the Tiltify link will pop up in Twitch, which is under Stream Elements there. And if you're on YouTube, if you're part of my amazing YouTube community, which has just been absolutely exploding, so I really appreciate that. 94 watching over on YouTube. I got a Tiltify link pinned to the top of chat. Okay, so you can go there, donate. Again, there's several raffles going on right now. We have a raffle for a Mark II Super Hornet that'll be given away tonight. I think Ender's streaming tonight. I actually don't know if Ender's streaming tonight, but if he is, he'll be given away on his channel. I will be streaming as well, and the reason I am is because my whole stream schedule got screwed up this week. But if Ender's streaming, the raffle will happen on his stream. Guardian says, Grim, you're working hard and grinding out these streams. Thank you very much. I am producing some pre-recorded videos. Those are coming. I usually like to take my time on them. I'm not a person that pumps them out every week. I wish I could. I just can't. But I got some more pre-recorded videos for those of you that love that. Social Giffy says Guardian Grim wants to be a full-time stream. I actually don't, but streaming is actually the easiest way to do content, primarily because the pre-recorded stuff I do, like the Shipyard series and stuff like that, the I don't know what it is, but the YouTube algorithm just tanks the views on them and they don't get out there. So like the very first Shipyard video, 100,000 views. The next one, 50,000 views. The next one, 30,000 views. The next one, 15,000 views. They just like tank. And so YouTube does not like if I'm like slowly putting out what I consider high quality content. YouTube wants constant stuff. So the only way for me to pump out constant stuff with my job, my daytime real life job, is to do streaming type content. So it's just the easiest thing to do. It's the lowest bar to entry. It allows me to connect and chat with you all as well and keep it a little bit more freestyle like. So, okay, let's bring up some stuff. What are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about
Thank you.
Let's see here. Okay, North, thank you very much for that $21 donation towards the Mark II Super Hornet. Again, we'll be giving that away tonight. North, thank you very much. Salute to you. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Guardian says they want more content and shorter content. Yeah, I don't, it's crazy. I don't totally get it. I actually contacted JoJo, who's been putting out some great content lately, but he'll have 15,000 subscribers, but he'll get 20,000 views like instantaneously. Rooster Ray just donated $20 towards the Mark II Super Hornet. Rooster, thank you very much. Salute to you. Appreciate that, North and Rooster, for the initial donations today, kicking it off for everyone today, kicking off the donation train. So appreciate that. But I did reach out to JoJo and I was like, you got to tell me how you're getting the amount of views you are. And he was very generous, very nice, listed out a bunch of stuff he was doing. So I am going to start doing that on new content. But yeah, it's crazy. The YouTube algorithm is just very punishing. It really does not reward high quality or unique content. It really just wants low churn stuff. It wants stuff that is sort of mass produced, shorter, and just churned out daily. That's how it. Yeah, Guardian says it right here. Folks that just like the news regurgitated from CIG. So CIG puts out some news, and then some content creators out there will literally just take the news and read it. That is what YouTube rewards. So if you go look at a lot of the biggest content creators in Star Citizen, a lot of them regurgitate the stuff that CIG already puts out. I have no real interest in that. I do like to discuss and speculate on here. So I'm going to do it my way. Hopefully y'all are along for the ride. I know some content creators out there don't like to speculate, but to me it's ridiculous. This entire game is one giant speculation. So, again, I don't I don't get it, but whatever. We're going to do it our way. And again, it's not really about the number of views or any of that. It's really just about connecting with all of you in chat, hanging out today. This is all this is about. So if you are all enjoying it, I'm enjoying it. As many of you will know, Starjump YouTube is not monetized. My Twitch is not monetized in any way for ads beyond just what you all donate on your own, whether through subs or to the Patreon or whatever. But we don't, I don't even think I have super chats activated for YouTube. We just don't monetize. And that's partially because I know we're pretty infrequent, especially me. And I didn't want to put that on you all. I just wanted to deliver decent content and hopefully you all like it. That's all I can say. Some people I haven't quite figured it out. There's some people in the content creation community in Star Citizen that can get hundreds of more viewers, but the stuff they're doing to me is so boring. But that just goes to show you that everyone likes different things. And I'm not going to try to compete with what some of the other content creators are doing because they have an audience. They do their thing very well. It doesn't appeal to me, but that's okay. The stuff I do really like though are what a lot of the creators like Space Tomato are doing, what Guardian does, what JoJo does, what the Info Runners do, what Soul Citizens do, where it's discussion and speculation and thinking about the game, thinking about things from different vectors and stuff versus just like, hey, here's what CIG announced today. So anyway, there you go. There's my diatribe. All right. We are going to go through a few things today. It is, let me switch over. Yeah, Samuel, and there's a lot of creators out there that are negative, and that's fine if they want to do that and that works for them. I can tell you right now, if I ever get super salty about the game, you just won't see any content from me. There's no way in hell I am. There's no way in hell I am wasting my day making content, complaining about something. I will go outside. I'll go do something with my kid. I will do something. Again, this is not my day job. YouTubing is never going to pay enough to counter my day job. So I'm very fortunate. So for me, this is for fun. So if it ever gets negative, you just won't see content from me. That's just the way it is. It doesn't mean I don't complain about the game from time to time. There's definitely stuff that needs to be complained about. You know what I mean? We need to do criticism. But if I'm just like hating the game right now or really not loving it, then I won't make content. It's the way it is. Okay. Let's get into this though. You heard me rant for a bit here. We're talking about a few things today. The first one is the final day of Invictus launch week. It is the finale right now. You can get deals on a whole bunch of ships. I am looking to get a ship to do a giveaway for. I told you all we would do this very soon. Hey, XQ, hope you're well. I was complaining about what the YouTube algorithms reward. It's not me. But I am going to find some stuff to do for giveaways. I'm eyeballing right now Perseus. I'm having a little issue with the payment system though for this one. A long story, but I'm looking at it, either this or an ironclad. It'll be one of the two. It'll be one of the two. So that being said, it is a great day to get final offers on stuff. You can go to the website, go to any of the brands you're looking at. So for example, if you are looking at Drake, you should be able to click on Drake right here. It'll take you to the Drake sale page again, and all the ships that were for sale should be for sale. So again, you know, if you're trying to grab like a let's see here. What do we got? An ironclad or something like that. The offers are currently live and you can get all that. So if this is your first Invictus, look into it. You can definitely, this is kind of the last day to get this stuff before it's gone. Okay. No war bond upgrades. I'm not sure today. I didn't see any. Let's see. Simlo deck. Hope you're well. Salute to you. We are going to look at today, though, everyone, what was just released by CIG, and that is we're going to talk about the new Squadron 42 ships, or not new ones, but the ones that are now being shown off. Here is one. Here's one image of the Anvil F7X Hornet and the F8 Lightning. These are great wallpapers, by the way. You can download them via the Squadron 42 newsletter that just went out today. So if you're interested in some of these new, either in the ships for Squadron 42 or in some of these new exteriors that we've talked about on this stream a little bit, you can get some great wallpapers showing them off. So just a heads up. Let me get down here. So there is the F7X. Again, quite a few differences there between even our F7A Mark IIs. Some of the lines are different. A lot of the curves have been smoothed out. The thrusters and the way the maneuvering thrusters have been completely changed. There's another image. Let me find it here. This image here shows the rear of the ship. The rear of the ship having two thrusters and slightly different winglet layout. You can see the thrusters here pointing directly back. They're integrated into the hull. A little bit more of a low profile turret. Again, lots of curving in some of the panel work. I don't know about you all, but I personally think this is the ship we're going to get when Squadron 42 releases and you beat Squadron 42. I think you're going to get the Anvil F7X Hornet. What do you all think? Let's see here. Execute. Actually, they released textless versions. At least I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Well, maybe they didn't. Not for the flight wallpapers. So the flight wallpapers do have the little text up here, I guess. It's easy to paint out, though. Looks like a racer. Yeah, what do you all think, though? Do you think this is the Squadron 42 reward? Fastcart says there's 5 Warbond upgrades: Perseus, Carrack, Terrapin, Asgard, and Star Lancer TAC. Okay, there are your Warbond upgrades for today. Shifty, these images are from the Squadron 42 newsletter today, which included ships of Squadron 42. Was missing one, however, and when I posted on Twitter, I did ping John Crew and Ben Curtis. We're really missing the Javelin in this group of photos, which is sad to see. So we got a look at the F7X, which is what you're seeing there. They also gave us a look at the new F8 Lightning, and this is just the F8, not the F8C. You can notice that the back rear engines are much different. It doesn't have the little fuel scoop up here. A lot more slimmed down lines. Everything's a little bit more integrated. A lot of changes actually with the exterior of this ship. I love the look of it, love the paint job. Man, I really wish these were the paint jobs that CIG sold. I really wish that was the case. Alex Wang says, what about FAA? I think this is the FAA for all intents and purposes. So they just label it as F8, not the FAA, but I think for all intents and purposes, this is the FAA. This is the military variant. I think this is the only image of the F8 that we got. There was Gladius image shown. VMXEO might have an interest in that one there. There's the Gladius. It does look like a few small changes on the exterior. However, chat, you can let me know. Swaver, thank you for the follow. Salute to you. Really appreciate that. Everyone, we are climbing up the follower rung here. We're getting ever close to 4,000 followers, which is incredible. Thank you very much for that support. If you're watching the channel right now on Twitch and you do enjoy what I do, please hit follow. If you're over on YouTube, please hit subscribe, thumbs up, all that kind of good stuff. Really appreciate it. So yeah, there is the the Gladius. Does any Javelin any Gladius owners, does this look changed in any way? Besides a different texture on it, it doesn't look a lot different. Still got the same thrusters. I don't know why some of the panel lines look a little different up here, but maybe I'm wrong. Master Sunshine says looks different, a little bit more angular. Yeah. Hey, it's Jojo. Jojo, I was just talking about you, actually. Everyone, make sure you go check out Info Runners, Guardian, and It's JoJo TV. Make sure you check out their channels. It's JoJo TV. I wanted to send you a big thank you, my friend. I sent JoJo a message on Discord, just asking him about the really fantastic view counts he's getting on his videos, especially compared with the amount of subscribers he has. And he was, and a lot of times people will not divulge any secrets, but he wrote me back a great message listing out some of the stuff he pays attention to when putting out a video. And I'm going to take his advice. He's got just an incredible amount of great content on his channel. Make sure you check him out. Jojo, hope you're doing well, man. He says, "Oh, 7 Grim, did the Gladius wing guns move out to the edge, or were they there the whole time? I swear they were closer to the body." I do too. This is the tricky one. I'm starting to question how much has been changed. This may be something we have to look up 3D and look at possibly what has changed on the Gladius. We do know the Gladius is going to be a ship that you fly quite a bit in Squadron. From my understanding, we're going to fly Gladius, Hornet, probably F7A Mark II, and maybe the F8. Valacor says, Starjump Graham, the Gladius picture on the website actually shows them on the thick inner parts of the wings. It's definitely changed. Oh, okay, so it shows the guns here. So yeah, on this one, I guess it's changed. That's interesting. I'm very curious about these small little changes on the Squadron 42 ships versus the PU ships, because I do wonder if we will get some of these changes at some point. I do wonder that. By the way, sorry, chat, if I've missed some messages here. I've got a bunch of windows up today. My internet had to get fixed today. They cut the line accidentally, so. So there's the Gladius. We have another one. This is the big one, in my opinion. This is the new Aegis Idris M. We've talked about the new exterior for this ship quite a bit. We're now seeing it for the first time. You can see it's a lot more angular. The entire bottom chin turret has been redesigned. All the engines are different. We now have these two sort of cantilevered thrusters on the bottom here, as well as this big chevron engine on both sides. If you wondered why we don't have VTOL on the current Idris, it very well could be because VTOL is not going to be a thing on the Idris anymore. It does look like they've put big VTOL thrusters under here. So you can see right there, and you can see right here, these look like big VTOL thrusters to me. So it's very possible that the Idris, this sort of new build of the external of the Idris, just has internal or integrated or VTOLs that have been integrated right directly into the hull. So that's very, very possible. Very, very possible. There's the new exterior of the Idris. We're going to go back to this one. There is another image, which is this one right here. Again, you can see those new engines a lot more clear here. I do hope we get some information on this soon, though. I would like this to come to the PU sooner rather than later. Dargenator says, Jared said that this Idris isn't new. It's what happens to ships of the line as they go through service and refits. The PU ones are right off the shelf. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't think the ones in Squadron 42 were new. I just figured that they were just carrying the most updated exterior in terms of like game mesh. So I was hoping that we get those in the PU eventually. Chatted with him after Con 42. Awesome. Darsh, how was Con 42? Did you enjoy it? Hopefully it was good. We'll see. I mean, maybe these will come to the PU. I sure hope they do. I think they look a lot better than the current one. And it does make me wonder if the reason the current Idris exterior has a few problems is because CIG sort of just stopped working on it at some point and has been focused primarily on this one. So I would love for this one to come to the PU, though. Dar says, yeah, it was great. Sold a lot. That's great. That's great. I hope it was went well. I'm going to be at Quantum 2955 in Las Vegas. Hope to see as many of you out there as possible. I would love to meet more of you in person. Okay, last but not least, last but not least, there is a Retaliator. There it is. Retaliator does not look changed much at all. I think we can be pretty certain this one's all the same. Even has the rooftop. Is that a rooftop airlock, which we know the CIG is not really doing anymore? So possibly the Retaliator has not changed much. It's a good question. Either way, that's a good question. Let's see here. I'm going to go back real quick, everyone. Bear with me. I'm going to grab a few images here, and then we'll kind of talk about these a little bit better. I'm just grabbing some images and posting them in a folder. So what do you all think of the new of these Squadron 42 ships? Do you all hope to see these coming into the PU at some point? Do you think they would make good? Do you think they would make good Squadron 42 like rewards? I'd be curious what you think there. I think that they would definitely make some great Squadron 42 rewards if Squadron 42 is indeed coming at some point, which I think it will. Let me close some of these out. Bear with me, everybody. Okay. All right, there we go. That's better. Okay. Let's see here. Core Space says, yeah, the PU mesh is still ancient and will get updated regardless. I think so. One of the ways you can tell the Aegis exterior is pretty rough is the landing gear wells where or cavities where the landing gears go up in. It looks super low res, so hopefully CIG is well aware. Tibble on YouTube says, hey there, do you have any knowledge about the skills that was presented by some SC developer? I can't find that video. I can't remember. I think it was a CitCon 2954 video, so you may be able to go through the CitizenCon 2954 videos. Yes, as a Ninja, I agree. I don't like the VTOLs on the Tally. I wish they were more integrated into the hull, so that's something that's always bothered me. Trispone, hope you're well. Tris07, what are we looking at? We're looking at the F7X, the F7X, and then the bottom of the F8. We've got a couple of wallpapers CIG has just released of the Squadron 42 exteriors and models of some of these ships. There's the new Idris exteriors, the first time CIG's like really put it out there versus it just being in the Squadron gameplay trailer. There is the F7X again, that exterior, really nice. I love that one. This is the F8, not the C variant, but the F8 military variant. You can see the engines on the back here being pretty radically different. That's great looking ship, though. I really hope we get that one. Aegis Gladius. Front of the Idris M, new exterior. You can see how different here this bottom chin mount is. Engines as well. Retaliator, and that is all we got. We did not get the exterior of the new Javelin though, which is a little disappointing. Let's see here. Darkstar says the rear landing gear on the Idris actually clips into the inside of the bay really badly when raised and lowered. Yeah, it's my thinking, Darkstar, is that they sort of stopped working on the current exterior a long time ago and have been focused on the new one. So I think we will get it. I think CIG they're probably not putting a lot more effort into the exterior we have. Dar says the F8 has like 75% fewer wings. Yeah, it does. It does. The entire mesh of the Idris is different. Yep. Same thing with the Javelin. I've showed that several times. And there's even a great side-by-side video of it. But for those of you very familiar with the Javelin, the new Javelin in the Squadron 42 trailer is completely different on the exterior. You can see right here, it's also got the new engines right here. And I think I have another image. Yeah, right here. You can see the engines on the sides are completely different to the ones we have in the PU. All the exterior cladding is completely different. It's got covers over the torpedo tubes now. The original one does not. It just had two big open holes there. you know this is the Squadron 42 Idris or Javelin because the turret mount back here is a dual size 10. I think it's a dual size 10. The PU Idris has a quad size 9, so a little bit different armament. So yes, there is a different Idris, or sorry, God, a different Javelin, and hopefully we're going to see a different Javelin as well to go along with the changes here. So let's see here. Check group chat Discord. Remove the text. Starjump group. Okay, I will definitely check that. Thank you. Yes, there it is. You have removed the text. Very nice. I will save those. I will definitely save those. Let's see. Kefco says, "Is there any new skins for the F8 Lightning?" Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen. Although they really should have put a blue and gold one out for Invictus. I'm just saying. CIG, free ideas here. Free money on the table. So, yeah. Bummer that they still have the F7X with only the ARC 170 winglets retracted. Bummer that they have the F7X only with the ARC 170 winglets retracted. I don't know what that is. What are the ARC 170 winglets retracted? Are you talking about the secondary wings? Let me go back to that actually. I don't have a good view. These winglets right here, do these slide out? I wonder if these wings slide out. Is that what you're referring to, or are they permanently in? God, look at the decaling work on here. Get the kills right here listed out. I love all the decaling work here. Rhino457 just donated $20 to the F7CM Super Hornet Mark II. Thank you very much, Rhino457. Appreciate it. We've had 3 donators today, by the way, and I do appreciate that. Bringing in another $61. Northern Tech Hermit, Rooster Rage, and Rhino457. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate that. We're well on our way. Well past $20,000 at this point. Yeah, these are interesting. Yeah, Jaybird, I'm really shocked CIG did not have more interesting paints out this year. I mean, they did it for the Idris, but it makes me wonder if perhaps we are going to get custom paint tools in game soon. You know, maybe we'll see a slowdown on paints created if that's the plan, right? We'll have to see, but I hope that's the case, that we'll get our, the tools to do it ourselves in game at some point here soon. Let's see here. The main wings have a smaller wing that deploy down and up. Okay, that's interesting, core space. I'll have to look into that. Execute says, drop them on Twitter if you want them without text for everyone. Okay, perfect. Everybody, if you go to Info Runners on Twitter, he posted the text-less versions there. Let's see. Let me see if I can pop the link up for everyone. Hold on a minute. There we go. I'll put the link in chat there. Get textless versions of the Idris M and F7X. Yeah. Oh, the ARC 170 is a Star Wars ship. Okay, yeah, I know the ship you're talking about. It's kind of nice to see the bottom side of this F7 or this F8 too. I was actually going to, what's a Twitter? Yeah, exactly. X, whatever it's called. I'm going to try to open something in 3D real quick, everybody. Bear with me. Hold on one second, everybody. I'm going to bring something up. I'm going to switch over. Now, so what's funny is the F7A Mark II has quite a few differences. We'll swing over here. Let me go to this. Was it this image? No, it's not that image. No, where's that other image? Oh, one of them I don't have up. That's why. That is why. 1 second, everybody. Let me find that other image. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. This is the other one I wanted. Okay, I think it's at the very end. Let's see. Thank you for the follow, Stevo3D. Appreciate that. There it is. That's the image I wanted. Okay. So a couple things to note here is we have the embedded thrusters here. We have two main thrusters on the rear. We have some new winglets on the back. We have the sides of these like little nacelles go here. They really slant outward. We have the one wing instead of the smaller wings here. I guess those are what you were referring to as being retracted. So let's switch over here. Let's go here. Boop, 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 boop. Bear with me, everybody. Okay. Let's see here. John Shaves said, when is the Perseus giveaway? Weren't you going to give one away if you broke 20K? Yes, John, but we will do that. We'll do that probably after the 31st because I got to get in all the Polaris. I got to get all the donators because they get an extra ticket, right? So we will still do that. 1 second, right? Um, 1 second. So yeah, I think if you look at this model here, here's those one wings here. So are these retractable? Is that what you were saying? They do look like they go in, right? Something like that. Is that what we're seeing on the F7A or the F7X where they're sort of in? Kind of does look like it, but it does look like. What program have you in the ship in? Yeah, Cinema 4D. This is a 3D application I use for work a lot, so I have a license for it through work. Let's see here. Yeah, John. I'll be doing the Perseus giveaway probably after the 31st, so it won't be St. Jude related. But the way I'm going to do it, just so everyone's aware, let me go to full face here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much everybody will get a free ticket, like one free ticket. And then for everyone who donated towards St. Jude, I think for every, I haven't figured out exactly how much it is, but for every certain amount of dollars you donated, you're going to get an extra ticket, extra ticket, extra ticket. So there's going to be some people in the Perseus giveaway that have 20 tickets. But everyone will get one free ticket. Even if you didn't donate to St. Jude, you're going to get one free ticket. Okay, one free ticket. So everyone has a chance to win it, but we're going to do it on the Perseus. I am working on it. I had a little bit of a payment issue. I was trying to pay with a particular card and it was being kind of a butthole, so I do need to get that solved today, but I will. I am still planning on doing it. I'm pretty sure the Perseus will go up in money, so it'll be great to snag it now while I can. So what do I do for work, Grim? I work in the film and television industry. I do visual effects, 3D, all type of stuff. I work in the film and television industry. I work straight to client and or direct to client. I also do feature film, independent film, broadcast animation, all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of a wide variety. I've worked on everything from some of the Harry Potter movies all the way to Comedy Central and HBO broadcast graphics to sporting events, Super Bowl. I've worked in a lot of independent film. I've worked in documentary. I've done some Ken Burns documentaries. Worked on the World War II one. I've worked on a lot of independent film. So yeah, been out there doing that type of work a lot. By the way, everybody, if you are so inclined, if you're a fan of 3D, I did see that CIG is currently hiring for a cinematics animator. Should be pretty cool. Be pretty cool. If you're wondering why I am not applying, is because I don't think they could pay what I currently get paid. I've been working in the industry for almost 25 years. I am a creative director level in film and television. So when I work, I'm creative director level now. So I actually oversee artists. I don't do a lot of it myself anymore. A lot of it is done by my team, and I direct them on it. I also go on set and act as a visual effects supervisor. I'm actually going to be going on set tomorrow for a large client for a commercial shoot. And I act as visual effects supervisor and make sure the way things are being shot are appropriate for visual effects later on. Crimsonoff says, do you have a professional portfolio you can share? I do. I can share that. I don't have those links ready, but I can get those ready. And for those of you that are interested. So there's VMXEO Blender here, user here. Yeah, so VMXEO, by the way, in chat, everybody, VMXEO, for those that don't know, is part of the StarFab team, also does some work for JRDF. And VMXEO handles flight-ready ships in Starjump Fleet Viewer, or at least most of them. There are some we have to catch up on, but most of the flight-ready ships in Starjump Fleet Viewer are a VMXEO exported thing, which big shout out to him for that. If it's a concept ship, then it's run through my pipeline because there isn't anything for StarFab to even pull from. So with concept ships, I have to take the hollow models, dress them out, texture them, light them, decal them, all that kind of stuff. So if you've ever been curious about that process, that is the process. So Starjump Fleet Viewer actually has a few pipelines working, and it has a Cinema 4D pipeline, a Blender pipeline, there's a StarFab Blender pipeline. So there's ships in there that have multiple end paths. So going back to this, though, real quick, going back to this, you'll see the current F7A Mark II Hornet has the single engine in the rear. The standard Hornet thruster ports versus, again, going back to here, you can see those more integrated thruster areas, the dual thrusters here. You can see we got sort of the wings that go down and one that goes up. But when we go back to this, we just have the down with the little winglet here. We don't have the up one. So again, lots of little differences. This part here, as you can see, is got this angle right here, this sort of like top turret cowling is kind of angular here. The wings are set. Actually, let me turn off this work plane. You can see the wings are sort of set inlet to that groove right there, right? But if I go back to this one, that is all molded and smoothly. You can actually see right here how this curves down gently. So much different lines. You can see it here too, just much different lines, how smooth that curve is right there. If I go back again to our F7A Mark II, that is all a lot more angular. You can see that here. So some big differences. Some big differences. If you want to see what we mean with the wings, you can see them open in the SQ42 demo at 4325. Okay, let me pull that up. I am curious. I am curious. Let's see. I hate when I type Squadron 42 gameplay and stuff, and I'll get something that's not from CIG first. I'm just like, all right, here we go. Let me pop this up. Where did you say it was? It was 4325. Let's go that. Oh, yep, I see it right there. I see it. Yep. Yeah, right there. That's cool. That's a good eye. I've never noticed that before. Right there. You can see all three winglets right here. So our main wing and then the top and bottom wings. Yep, you were exactly right. Am I even showing this? Nope, I'm not. Let me switch over. There we go. I'll back it up for those that want to see it. Let me move down the speed to, let's see here. There it is right there. You can see the winglets open. Here's the main wing, and then here's the two little smaller wings. That's a great eye. Yeah, I've never noticed that. Right there. They open up. Very cool. Um, yeah, that's cool. I didn't notice that. So that is something. That is something new. I wonder if this model has those. Does this model have those? No, it does not. Doesn't look like it does. I think this is the flight ready model, right? Does this have an interior? Yeah, it does. Okay. Um, so yeah, there you go. Some pretty cool updates. I mean, again, I love the F7A Mark II. I really do. But one thing I do love about this newer version is the turrets are a really big break in the overall lines of the ship. I really love that on the new ones. You can see how just much more low profile everything is. It's all like streamlined, a little bit more low profile, integrated. Again, these thrusters being integrated here, the sweeping sides down, everything just seems a lot more considered here. Um, and I'm really hoping we get this version. I hope this is the reward for Squadron 42. I really do. I really do. Let's see here. What else do we have here? Let me switch over to my chat channel. Real quick here. Hey, it's Execute. Execute, how are you? Let's see if Execute is here. Let's see here.
I am here. I am here. Sorry, I was muted.
He's here. He's
I was
drinking his tea.
No. I was doing the Retaliator one. That one's a lot harder to do
Yeah.
because I've sent one there, but I still think I can do better. So I'll keep working on it.
So, what do you think of this Squadron 42 post today? Do you think there's a? It's interesting that they're putting this out as the Squadron 42 sort of newsletter today. Are you reading anything into it, or you think it was just something easy to put out?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really read through it a lot. I just
It's
know that they
pretty
introduced the
short.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty short. I almost wonder if again it's just we're getting to that time period where the stuff that they're updating in Squadron isn't so much big ticket items now that you would put in, weekly reports, that it's probably just a lot of polishing, optimizing and stuff like that. Not that they can't update us on that, but I almost wonder if just coming off of Invictus, if they're like, okay, for Squadron, let's do something kind of a little interesting. Um, again, we know that, and both myself pretty heavily, I know you and some other creators have put it out there as well, that, what's up with the Idris exterior and all that. So it's kind of telling that we get these big wallpapers now, sort of formally introducing us to the new Idris exterior. We knew about the F7X, we knew about the F8. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just we're getting to that point where we're starting to see some stuff now from like a because these images they almost have like a very like marketing vibe to them, right? Like promotional marketing vibe to them, and it almost makes me wonder if we're going to start seeing maybe a slow trickle now as we get closer to Squadron 42. Hopefully next year we'll see a little bit more of marketing materials, a little bit more public facing stuff, and not just like, okay, we're currently updating the AI code for the 15th time. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I just think back to Citizen Code and how polished that first level was. And think, okay, well, if that's more polished than everything else, I look through though and think about all the shared assets and stuff like that, and you take what's there and go 2 years, man, like that has to be leagues in front of everything else if that's where that was at.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
I also think about how most of it was cinematic.
True.
There was not a lot of time that we were in an area that we hadn't kind of somewhat seen before. So what I mean by that, it was like you're on a javelin. So it was when you were outside the ship, like the jumping through, and more when it was destructed and the puzzle elements, they were the more interesting parts to me that I've really focused on when I've gone back to look on it.
Yeah.
To see things that I hadn't seen before and look for bugs and errors, and there really is. Like I watched it live, and they've kind of deleted that version of it, but there were 2 errors. There was that one guy's face that didn't load properly.
Yeah.
Easy as to fix.
Yeah.
Right? It was just that that obviously updated his model and not updated the LOD.
Yeah, and there was background characters in that scene too, where when his face flickers, their faces do too. So it was probably just some sort of global thing they were able to sort of deal with.
Yeah. And then the other one was just the gun with Gillian Anderson's character at the end.
What was the bug with that one?
She couldn't pick it up properly or whatever it was.
Oh,
that's the one that really got deleted.
The only thing I noticed is when the one Van Duel ship was sort of ramming through or blasting the one Idris and like splits it in half or whatever. I noticed one part of that one big chunk of the Idris like free rolls and 0G and like clips through an entire other part of the hull. I think they'll probably end up cleaning that up, but that was the only thing that really stood out to me besides the face flickering thing. So I agree with you. I think it felt very polished. And again, I think when you see a game, this goes back to a quote from one of the original Halo developers, that to get magic in a game, and I do fundamentally believe this, the game has to have depth, of course, but you need to have 30 seconds that are really fun that you can just repeat and repeat and repeat. And that's the ethos that like the Halo Bungie.
Yeah, game loop.
Yeah,
it's a game loop.
Exactly. Yeah. And I can tell you when I watched that sequence, that looked like I could pick 30 seconds out of there that looked really fun that I wanted to play. That was easy. You know what I mean? So just based off that demo, which I know is a lot of cinematics, I'm very, very excited for it. And I wasn't even, I want to say I wasn't excited for Squadron, but I really wasn't like on the top of my like list of things to play. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you now it is. Now it firmly is at the top. So yeah,
well,
I'm really excited.
From what I can see, when you piece together all the pieces we've seen over the years, it probably is going to play a lot like Half-Life with cinematics.
Yeah. I could see that being the case. For sure.
Or Titanfall. And they're some of the best campaign games. Like they're ones that I really, really enjoy. You know, and if you add the flying part to it as well and the FPS stuff, like I can see it being a game that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, I agree with that. What do you think on some of these Squadron 42 ships in terms of like the players getting them? Here's the thing. I think we will definitely get these ships at some point because I don't think CIG will just leave them on the table, so to speak. I think they'll either be an award or purchasable or something. But what do you think CIG will ultimately do with them? Do you think backers will get a chance to get these?
Well, we were always concluding that the F8 was the ship that you were given at the end, but now they've sold it. That may have changed things. And I think they kind of sold things that they didn't really intend to sell because they lost so many artists and they needed to rebuild the ship team. I think that's why they were sold. I think it's clearly the whole reason. Like even now, the ships that just came out, they're all essentially side grades or variants. The only new thing we got there was an MTC.
Yeah. Well, I know that it came out. I don't know how confirmed this is. I know it was supposedly said by John Crew at the Beijing Star Citizen event, whatever, that the current plan is to reward a special small ship for Squadron 42 completion. I could 100% see it being the F7X. It seems the most logical to me.
Yep, I could see it. It could also just be a starter ship.
It absolutely
small. Yeah.
You know what I could almost see them doing though, because we have the F7X and we also have the F8. I could even see them doing it to something to where if you play Squadron 42 at one difficulty setting, then you unlock this ship. If you play it at a higher difficulty setting, maybe you unlock a different ship. You know what I mean? Who knows? I mean, there's 1,000 things they could do. These ships also could be included for the PU if you buy a certain game package associated with Squadron 42. I mean, remember, a lot of people have sort of forgotten this. We don't have any Squadron 42 game packages for sale right now. Those are going to be reintroduced at some point.
I can make it really simple.
Yeah.
I've always seen Squadron 42 as the UEE rep grind.
Yeah.
To unlock like what they sell. So you play through Squadron 42, then you go into Star Citizen and you've already got rep with the UEE. Because remember, if you go way back, no, you may not remember, but if you go way back to the beginning, they literally said if you stop playing the campaign halfway through, you would only be able to use the ships that you'd unlocked to that point.
I actually do remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
So that tells me it's a rep grind. So if you've only unlocked the Arrow and the Hornet and you don't have the F8 and you don't have the Retaliator or whatever the rep grind ships are, that'll be it.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So you would say you would think it's probably likely then that these are probably Squadron 42 rewards of some type, probably.
Eventually, yeah. And again, you're not giving them, you're giving access to buy them. That's a rep grind.
Right.
So even if, again, same thing, we'll probably be given the F8 and say they do give us this one here as well. The what is it, F7X?
Yeah.
That would be, you'd still have to pay for it. And again, if it is rare, it might be even more expensive to in game.
Yeah, and that would be, it'd be very similar to the golden ticket thing then, is what you're saying. Where you essentially get some like a voucher or something after completing, which then allows you to purchase it. Oh, okay.
Nope. So essentially, you can remember they're two separate games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I've now played all the way through Squadron. I now go into Star Citizen. And when I get into Star Citizen, I head down to my local ship dealer that sells UEE ships. And I can then access it and they can say, oh, you have rep with us. So yes, we can sell these to you.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in, and because I've only done the UEE one, I then go into another ship store, and for example, maybe they're a Drake person or they're an industrial person,
right.
And they basically go, well, sorry, we can't sell to you because we don't know who you are.
Right.
Yeah. And that's how the whole, if you think about the way the whole game is structured to play, you do your rep grind, and after you've died too many times and have to make a new character, you lose a percentage of your rep grind. So it's this continual grind that is eventually reset through partially, like maybe you lose 25%, maybe it's 50%. We don't know what that's going to be yet, but you'll lose that rep grind and you have to redo it again.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see when we do get closer to Squadron 42. And I think it was even Aaron Roberts, according to the rumor mill, Aaron Roberts even soft reconfirmed that we'll be seeing Squadron will be completed next year at the China Bar Citizen. But as we lead up to that, later this year, at some point, we're going to have to start hearing about Squadron 42, but more from a standpoint of like, the marketing campaign, the promotional campaign, game packages, all that. I think we're going to get a whole new, I think that's going to be a big thing that CIG delves into. I think we're going to hear all about how they plan to synergize the two games to have benefits across one to another in some way. Maybe they're just, tangential benefits, but I think there'll be actual benefits, obviously, because you want to maximize your user base, across both platforms or both games.
I think a lot of that may come later, because I think the focus is really getting the game out the door.
Yeah.
And they're the type of things that they can go back and retroactively do, and also they can go back and do them so it kind of encourages a bit of future sales.
The only caveat I would say to that is you only get to launch once. And I think with Squadron, much like they were going to do that gala, remember, that you and Algrid were going to try to attend, whatever the launch is, I think it's going to be a big deal. Like they're going to sink a lot of money into it. the whole marketing push. I'm expecting we're going to see advertisements for Squadron, in the trailers of movies. We're going to see this thing freaking everywhere. I think no expense is going to be spared. For those of us that are, diehard Star Citizen backers here, see, I like both games, but if there's any of you out there that aren't interested in Squadron, you should want it to be a successful launch. Let's just put it that way.
So this is the thing, right? So what just happened with the latest kind of controversy is you're seeing all these YouTubers going, they're out of money. They're out of money.
Right.
They're not out of money. They're trying to raise more money.
Yes.
So they got more money for marketing.
Yep. Yeah,
That's what it's all for. Like they've got enough to survive, but they like you are literally just everything you just said.
Yeah.
They've got to be able to go out there and sell it now. And they need money to go out there and sell it.
Gotcha. One second. Everybody.
No, I didn't. I haven't had a chance to look at them all yet, John.
And here's a thing too that's important to remember. Constantly people say, and I get why they're saying it. I just don't think I think it's a little disingenuous. But people will constantly say, "Hey, the game has raised 800 million." And it's like, yes, it's raised 800 million, but they don't have 800 million in the bank right now. That is 800 million over 12 years of development that has been spent on offices and overhead and all kinds of stuff. That is, that's lifetime raised for them.
I think it'd also be very disingenuous to sit here and say that CIG hasn't made mistakes.
Oh, God, they made tons.
I don't so let's look at it for a couple of different angles, right? You've got they should have paid for veteran staff and kept them. Like the people from Ubisoft the people that went to Ubisoft, the better management people, they offered them to say, hey, we'll stay if you pay us the same. They should have just paid them the same.
Yeah.
Because by the time you retrain people back up, that takes like 2 years to get back to there, they're still not as good as those veterans.
Right.
And then this has happened multiple times where they train someone up and then they get poached by someone else.
Right.
So essentially, they're doing free training for every other game company. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
And then we've also got all this technology they built that has to be essentially R&D'd. So that's what's going to take time as well. But the overall gaming community will reap those benefits. We're already seeing that tech trickle down to other game companies when people have taken those ideas and they know how to do it to other places, and they essentially rebuild it at another gaming company.
Yeah. I mean, it was just the other day that I think Leaks or someone had put out a post regarding core server meshing people leaving Star Citizen. Only for an hour later, one of those very people chimed in on Blue Sky and said, yes, we left a while ago, but server meshing's in perfectly fine hands. I love CIG. Yeah. I left on my own accord. So yeah, it's you're gonna have some level of churn, I think.
I can give you another simple example, and I am agreeing with VMXMO. It's really common to get people poached, right? Especially when you are making stuff that looks this good, right?
Yeah.
So
they're amazing artists. They're going to be targeted by companies. I mean, we do the same at my company. If we're working on a film or a commercial or anything like that, we're looking for artists all the time. It just happens.
I completely forgot what I was going to say, but I'm sure it'll come back to me in a minute.
I'm glad I was the one that interrupted you.
No, it was what I said to VMXMO. I interrupted myself. What did someone say there? Someone added me. I need to go back and see what they said. Something about an ironclad. What's your predictions on when the ironclad cargo one might be released? To me, I honestly thought it was coming at Invictus. I would say now, knowing the Perseus, we've been told it's coming at AIE. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the Ironclad's coming at CitizenCon. It makes the most sense to me.
Most sense is CitizenCon, yeah. And I would just put the caveat in there that with the way and this was brought up originally by Emperor Runners, with the monthly ship releases, CIG could also completely surprise us and release the Ironclad in some big June patch or September patch. We have no clue. It's probably CitizenCon because it's a big ship. but you never know.
Yeah.
They keep doing
That's what I was saying.
things.
Like, I get in these arguments with you when they say, but they can do anything they want. And yeah, they can. But if you don't put restrictions on what you're speculating on,
exactly.
They could bring out big fluffy bunnies.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
ridiculous.
And the important thing to remember is when shows like my show or Info Runners or anything, if we're speculating on something, a lot of times we're speculating on it based off past behavior from CIG, which is all you can really do. You know what I mean?
Dots,
yeah.
As we say.
And with people like you and Algrid, for sure, you've been in the game so long that you can connect more dots, you know what I mean, than even someone like me who, I've been pretty actively following since 2018, 19. That's kind of where my dots go to, you know what I mean? So people that have been in the project for a long time, they're able to anticipate some of the stuff that CIG does. But anyway, I do have to go to a meeting here momentarily, unfortunately, for work. But a quick thing for everybody. I will be on tonight. I'll be streaming tonight. I'll probably talk about these ships a lot more. I'm going to fly around the Asgard and do some stuff in-game in the Asgard. For those of you wondering, I know on a previous stream I said I did not like the Asgard. But now that I've flown it and messed around with it, it's actually a lot of fun. That ship is great. So more on that. Maybe I'll get VMXCO in game 2 and we can check out the Guardian MX in game as well. I mean, I don't know. Real quick before we go, XQ, how did you think of Invictus as a whole? What would you give it as a review on a scale of 1 to 10?
Better than last year's, but that was the worst we've ever had. I'm going to be honest.
It's a great segue.
As a veteran backer,
yeah.
I think we are in a rut when it comes to ships. I think they lost too many people, and they're having to get back on their feet. And I think if you look back all the way to Invictus last year, it essentially is all these ships that were side grades and kind of almost like putty filler.
Yeah,
none of them were really like the Golem is a unique ship, and we got a couple others along the way. I'm sure I could sit here and think about them, but I'm not thinking of that. I'm thinking about all the ones like the Peregrine Took that we got, and the Firebird, and yeah, the Firebird's kind of okay now, but when it first came out, it wasn't the best. But I can't imagine some of the things like the Peregrine sold very well, and stuff like that. And I know when I sit here and I don't even need to ask, because I know people would say I'd get more excited for a new ship than over a variant, right? And it just hasn't been that exciting in the form of new ships. I'm really like, I just hope there isn't too many more. Like even the Asgard, right? Let's just take that as an example, right? Now, if that was, let's say, for example, let's say it was an Aegis ship.
Yeah.
I don't think it would leave the bad taste that is left in a lot of Valkyrie owners' mouths, because if you want to know about the Vanguard, I guarantee you can go over to listen to Expat, and I listened for an hour today as she essentially ranted about that ship, and nothing she said was invalid, right? She is a bit disappointed that she brought a Valkyrie, it costs more, and there's a better ship that's just $25 less than the one she brought. I guess it makes her really mad.
I guess the tricky thing with that, just playing devil's advocate for a minute before I have to really go and before I get in trouble, is that I think CIG's looking at that though. If you bought the Valkyrie, you were buying a people drop ship. And the Asgard to CIG is not that. So to them, you might as well be mad at the fact that you can't upgrade to an ironclad, because to them, it's just a completely different type of ship doing a completely different type of thing. The fact that it's based off the same hull design to them, I don't know if is a factor. That would be their argument. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that the frustration with that is not warranted. It's just, I think, the argument that would be made.
And what I'm trying to give as an example there, though, is imagine if it wasn't essentially a variant, and I know they're going to say it's not a variant, but let's be honest, it's a freaking variant.
It's a variant.
If they'd made it as a different ship, like a direct competitor, it would not have the same sour taste.
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's what I'm trying to say, right?
Yep.
So if you look back at the last 12 months at least, there are very few ships that are original. They've taken as few people as possible and kind of spread them out to make as many ships as they possibly can.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, I think I think there's a lot of the ship team that is currently occupied on 3 big ships that come to mind. One of those being, and possibly 4, and those ships being the Ironclad, the Perseus, the Pioneer, and possibly the Starlancer build. Sort of 4 pretty large ships, the smallest of those being 90 meters.
You missed the Perseus as well.
Oh, Perseus, sorry. Perseus, Ironclad, Starlancer build, and Pioneer. We all know that all 4 of those are in some level of development.
I wouldn't give you the build. I think the build's pretty much done.
You're right. Well, let me go back.
Well, they would have done them all at the same time.
Yeah, let's say drone support.
That's a bit more on the code side rather than the outside.
True. Point, yeah. But I do think that, although, and I'll even throw you a bone this way. I think the Pioneer's probably got a skeleton staff on it right now, only because I think they're still working out some conceptual stuff with the ship, to be honest with you. I don't think it's like any hardcore development. But Perseus and Ironclad 100% are pushing ahead. I'm sure those are taking more than a few developers. But anyway, I do got to run because I'm going to get in trouble. But I appreciate you chatting with me. I will be on tonight, everybody. Check the YouTube schedule. I will go live at 9 p.m. tonight. We'll talk more about this. We'll be in game plan. It'll be a lot of fun. I am going. Yep. Yes, and everybody, make sure you go check out Info Runners on YouTube and Twitch. Make sure you check out Guardian, who is also in chat. Make sure you check out Guardian's channel. And, of course, make sure you check out JoJo TV. JoJo, again, thank you very much for sending that great advice message to me. Appreciate that. Everyone, I'm going to send you on over to someone I haven't rated in a long time, but we had them on a guest on Starjump Station many years ago at this point. We'll send you over to Enterprise. Make sure you give them some Starjump love. I got to go run to a meeting, but I hope to see you all tonight when I stream again. Talk to you later, everyone. I'm going to start this raid. Make sure it's all working here. Okay, yes. Yes, have your notifications set, Destroy. I will be on. I hope to see you all there. Nighttime raids are always fun for me. Everybody, have a great day. Give Enterprise some love. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.